You guys, I have made a cheese that I am so proud of. This is a cheese for those of you who want minimal ingredients, who are using raw cow's milk. You can use store-bought if you want, but like this cheese is the most basic. It is milk, clabber, a little bit of rennet, and then it is a natural rind cheese that is kind of foolproof because you're going to make a certain little brine that kind of helps you get through it. And the cheese is buttery and creamy and soft and salty. And oh, it is so, so good. Yes! Oh. This recipe started with Gavin Weber's Butterkäse cheese. My recipe is wildly bastardized. My name is Jennifer. Welcome to Milkslinger, the channel where I make all sorts of cheeses and I learn as I go and I share it with you. We're gonna make this one from start to finish. You can follow along. You can take something that you see in this video and apply it to different cheese that you're making. You can do anything with cheese making, guys. You can do anything. Just let it rip. So while my husband is outside milking, I start the first part of the milk heating, so I have about 4 gallons in here, and it's heating up to 102 degrees. And I will add the culture and start the timer on the culture, and then he's going to add the fresh milk and we'll finish it off. Because we are calf sharing and we are not getting nearly as much cream, basically our milk is skim, I'm adding store-bought whipping cream. That means I will also be adding calcium chloride. Just not much fat in it, and if I'm making a butter cheese, you need fat. It's a 1/4 teaspoon of calcium chloride per gallon of store-bought milk. I'm also wanting to just bulk up the milk in general, make it stronger, get a higher yield. And so I'm just adding about 1.5 teaspoons. I dilute that in a little bit of water, and I'm just gonna add that to the milk right now. And it's probably right around 80 degrees. And I'm going to go ahead and add the clabber too. Here's the clabber that I'm gonna add to this milk today. It's nice and thick. Shake it up. So the milk is still not to temp, and I don't have all the milk in here, but that's okay. I'm just gonna get the culture going. The milk is supposed to ripen for 40 minutes, so I'm going to start the timer for 40 minutes. It's 93, 95, somewhere in there. It needs to get to 102. I'm just going to pause it right now until the rest of the milk comes in, and then we'll finish off the heating process. More. Don't stop until I tell you to. Okay, stop. I'm going to raise it to 102 just for a couple more minutes. So this is at 102 degrees right now. I have 23 minutes left on the clock for the 40-minute ripening time, and then we'll do the rennet. So you know how people would take the evening milk and let it sit in the wooden barrels and be culturing overnight, and then they'd add the fresh morning milk, and then they would make the cheese. It's that same idea, but in 40 minutes. For the rennet, it's technically 2 teaspoons, but I'm going to do 1.5 because I dial back my rennet. We're going to give this 40 minutes to set up. Oh, that looks beautiful. Instructions say to cut this into 1/2-inch cubes. So now this rests for 5 minutes for the curds to heal. Just taking off enough so that I can stir it easily. Now it's time to start stirring this curd just to make sure they're all firmed up and all the same size. Let's just break up these lumps. You don't have to be particular about it really. Because the temperature is higher at 102, they do start to develop a skin on them fairly quickly. You have to keep stirring them, otherwise they knit. They just are going to lump together because it's a higher temperature. They are shrinking, but there are still some big ones. As I stir, the ones that have more liquid in them are often more buoyant and come to the top and I can catch them. At this point, they are not breaking apart quickly because they have that skin on them. So I am puncturing them with my thumb. Just kind of mash them a little bit and that releases them. It's like popping a grape or something. When you're putting it in the press, if you find a really large curd that is full of liquid, like one that stands out that totally got missed, just take it out. You don't have to press it. I'm going to let this rest for 5 minutes so the curds sink, and then I'm going to remove the whey to start washing it. So while that is settling, I have buckets ready over here, got the press out and my water. I'm getting this ready to go to wash the curd. So I'm going to remove half of the whey. This is a wonderfully milky whey, so I am hopeful that I will get a lot of ricotta. We'll see. I could probably stop right here. I probably have taken out at least 2 gallons of whey. But because I want to make ricotta, I want a lot of whey. So I'm going to go a little bit heavy on extracting as much whey as possible. All right, there we go. This is hot tap water. I have not added the boiling water to it yet because this only needs to come up to 108 degrees, which is a temperature increase of 6 degrees. So I don't know that I will actually need to use boiling water. I might be able to use just the hot tap water, which is 125, somewhere in there. Before you add your hot water, you want to always shake them up, get them moving so they're not knitted together on the front end. When you are washing curds, you often replace the amount of whey that you took out with the water, either cool or hot or same temperature or whatever. You need the equal amount of water in order to wash them properly. We're only at 103 degrees. I'm gonna refill this with hot tap water and keep going. We're close, about a degree away. Hey, there we are, 108. At this point, the curds are pretty small. They have a little bit of a rind. They're not quite sticking together as much, maybe because of the higher temps. They're floating freer in here, and I'm gonna just stir these for 10 minutes. They are jiggly in my hand and loose. They're not like matting together. If you squeeze some of them together, they stick together, and then you crumble them apart, so they are done. They taste wonderful. Like, they are not rubbery, but they're a little bit firm. There's a good paste to them. They're not watery. They're sweet and buttery, and they're really, really delicious. I like candy. Right now, these rest for another 10 minutes. So I have got to get this whey out of this pot. Nobody else is home, so I have to do it myself, which is kind of a problem. It just means I have to go slower. It's totally fine. Don't fall in. I hardly even needed this part because it's already sunk down in. So I'm going to elevate the back side of this. It's about 10 pounds of pressure for like half an hour, and then you go up to 25 pounds of pressure, so it's still a light pressure for 9 hours. If you do this cheese first thing in the morning, get it done by lunchtime, you're taking it out of the press at 9 o'clock at night, or bedtime. I'm gonna probably flip it a couple times within the first hour because I like to make sure the rind on it is gonna be nice and smooth, and that often takes a couple flips, but technically you wouldn't need to. This is still only 108 degrees. It's not gonna stick to the cloth. It's gonna come out just fine. So it's up to you how much you wanna flip it, but I generally flip it more in the beginning. Here we are above 180, it's like 184. You can see all that curd right there, it keeps coming. I'm gonna add some vinegar and stir it in. Probably about a 1/3 cup. It looks like that's kind of all I'm gonna get, which hopefully will be enough for the recipe I'm making tomorrow. Technically, this could be taken out now and brined, but I'm gonna wait.
It's a lot of salt.
Yep. It's time to make the Geo Wash. You mix this up about 12 hours before you want to use it because you need things to dissolve and activate. The recipe is 3/4 cup of cool water and 8 teaspoons each of Geotrichum candidum, sugar, and salt. Label it Geo and the date. This goes in the fridge, and tomorrow we're gonna do the first wash. We could have done the wash a lot earlier. This cheese is already old enough, but I just haven't gotten around to it. Here is the Geo Wash that was in the fridge since overnight. You can see a little bit of sediment on the bottom, so shake it up. There's nothing growing on this cheese yet, so all I'm gonna do is take some of this and just wash it like it's a salt brine. Just rub it all over. You don't want to make it soppy. You just want to get the solution rubbed over it. And that's it. And now it's going to go in an aging box. It's going to have its little room. I'm going to leave it cracked so it can breathe. Every time I do a Geo Wash, I'm just going to put the date on it. So this is going to just keep being washed. I don't know how many times I'll do it. Last time I did it maybe 5 times, 8 times, 10 times. It's just to get it going, and I'm not going to see anything, and then I'm going to stop and the mold will start to develop. It's kind of cool. It's going to be cracked so it gets some airflow. The fan is up there and other cheeses are just hanging out. So the Geo Wash cheese is getting white fuzzy mold on it and also some blue. So I'm gonna wash that off when I do the Geo mold thing. It smells a little funky, cheesy. I don't know, something weird. I needed something clean to set this on. Working in the bathroom today, so it's a little tight in here. So I'm just washing that off, rubbing it down. You don't want it to be saturated, you don't want it to be goopy, so I'm trying to wipe some of it off. If you're having trouble with it getting too goopy, you can wash just the exposed surface that's going to air out, so the stuff underneath isn't being washed. I'm not really having trouble with that, but in the case that you do. And then it goes back into here. It smells like basement, and I do not want that smell. So.
Oh, you showed him the hat?
Yeah. It doesn't smell that bad. So let's brush off the basement. Can you get me the Geo Wash out of the fridge, Rebecca? Actually, I wonder if I don't need any more. It feels moist. There we go. It's icy. Can they see it? Hang on. Okay. Fridge got too cold. Oh shoot, what are we freezing in there now? I think we're gonna say that's good. This is the Geo Wash. All right, so this Geo Wash thing, I have stopped doing it and it has been living down in that cave and it is getting all this blue on it, but you can see that there's white mold that is coming up around it. So I'm going to just dry rub this again, try to get this mold down, and then hopefully the white will come up. You rub the blue off and the white is there. I'm going to keep this lid cracked. So I need to do dry rub, write the date on there, but aside from that, okay. Bye. It's been in the cheese cave downstairs. Ooh, that smells rank. It actually smells like a little bit of bee linens on it. Oh, look at that. A little bit of the pink. The white is there, but it's not really taking over like I want it to. Let's just dry brush this. I like that. This, not so much. Well, that looks good underneath. It feels good on the outside. It does not feel too dry. It does not feel wet. I'm brushing quite hard. I like that pinkish look. That's kind of cute. Oh, back to the cheese cave. A couple days ago, it looked totally white in the cheese cave, and now it's looking totally blue. This is sealed, and you can see moisture is forming on the inside of this. Ooh. Yeah, it doesn't smell great. Traditional basement. A day ago, it was like that. Very nice. But then this blue just keeps coming back. I think it looks actually quite beautiful now. It feels a little sticky. So I have 2 thoughts. I have lots more than 2 thoughts, but these are the 2 thoughts I'm going to tell you. What I could do is wash the cheese with just a regular light salt brine with vinegar. That would halt the mold growth. But I am not sure that I want to halt the mold growth because I do like this white. The other option is to put this cheese in a cheese cave in the open air. Not the basement one, I don't think, because that's where all the blue mold goes, and see if the mold will grow. Because here's a little story. I made an alpine tome. It was stinky and kind of gross. It was sticky. I had it in the basement cheeser, and it developed this blue mold. So I brought it up, brushed it off, stuck it in the wine fridge, and it developed this gorgeous white shell. What's it called? Rind. And so I'm thinking maybe if I put this in that cheese cave, the white rind will flourish and the blue will be less. I made a little mat and I'm gonna pop that on there, and hopefully that will soon be much more like that one. You guys, look. It has been only a few hours and look at this. Look at this cheese. This is the Rocklyn and it is white. Oh my word. That makes all the difference. So maybe the cheese cave in the basement was too warm for it. This is 45 and open air, but it's looking like that, like the dome. I'm excited. It is like hard and nice and moldy. It's looking really good on this side. but you flip it, getting some blue. So I'm going to quick brush this off. I'm not going to get a new cheese mat. I'm just going to brush this off and hope that that is enough to keep it at bay for a little bit longer. So there it is now. Looks a little bit better. It is just holding steady and looking beautiful. Woo! It is time to taste the Sweet Rocklyn. I am tired of waiting for it. I want some cheese. I am hungry and I need more space in here. That's always the motivating factor. Here's my sweet, sweet Rocklyn. Oh, she smells so good. Should I? Let's do a quart. I just want to eat her. Let's do a core sample first. And if we like her, then let's just eat her. It has a little bit of a pinkish hue to it. It's white. It is nice and like soft, but not squishy at all. It feels soft, actually. I like that. There you go. Let's examine this. Feels a little bit elasticy. It does not crumble. Oh, she's beautiful. I just learned from Marianne at Give Cheese a Chance. She's an amazing channel. She just interviewed an international cheese judge, and he said that they always thumb the cheese to see how it is. It means they press it and go like that to it and see if it's smooth and how the paste is. Well, this is totally smooth. I don't feel anything gritty. Interesting. It's very creamy. This one is 2 months old. I think we're just gonna eat it. Well, should I? Yeah. I mean, I really don't think it's gonna get any better. Like, it is really good. No, we're gonna plug this back up. We're gonna let it go a little bit longer. Part of the reason I'm letting it go is because this rind is so beautiful and so stable that I'd rather take some of the other cheeses that aren't doing well out of the fridge and let the ones that are doing well keep going. Here's how I'm gonna put it back in. Whoops, not like that. That was bad. I might be doing this all wrong. But that's okay. You just smear the cheese around the edge to lock it in, kind of bouncing back out. There we go. And there she is. She's all sealed up. We're gonna let this keep going. It's been 2 months now for the Sweet Rocklyn. It's been in the cheese cave up here. And I just opened up an Alpine tome that I had aging in there, and it was a little bit on the dry side. So I'm a little concerned that this Sweet Rocklyn is getting drier than it should. So we're gonna cut into it today and finalize this cheese and see what we have.
Hey Mom, you do an idea for your cheese count. And it's like, since I went into the jungle and I collected this cheese. Comment if you want that idea. Yeah.
Oh, and you know what? Just for comparison, right here is a butter cheese, which is kind of the base of a Sweet Rocklyn, and I'm gonna vac pack it. This is kind of, it gives. Can you see how I'm squeezing it? And it moves. It's a softer cheese. And this now is like hard. That's where I had the hole that I just tasted it the other week. Now here's the thing I'm conflicted about. The rind is probably not something that people are going to want to eat. It's fine, it just doesn't taste that great. What I have done recently is I have taken a cheese that was moldy and I scrubbed it down under water, under the faucet, and cleaned it up before cutting into it. You still don't want to eat the rind, but it took off all that stuff. My debate is, do I do that for this too? Because once you have the cheese packed in the backpack bags, nobody really cares about the rind. You want it to be conducive and easy to eat. I don't know what to do. Maybe I'll test. Let's just scrub off a little tiny corner here and see what happens. Cool water. It's actually kind of pretty. This is why I'm so freaking conflicted. I mean, I think what would happen is if I rub this off and let it sit out at air temperature for, a few hours, the white will come back. I think it's just kind of muting it. It smells really good. I'm not gonna bother. Not gonna bother. Maybe I should. Nah, not gonna do it. Well, maybe I should. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. We're just gonna quick rinse this off. Get that blue off. Yeah, I'm glad I'm doing this. This was the right decision. It feels right. Oh, that went down through. I think those black spots are probably mildew. Doesn't that look prettier? Maybe? I don't know. Okay, y'all, so look at it. The white is still there. You get the nice pink underneath. It smells like lipase. Has a little bit of that sharp smell. It smells good. However, I'm in a little bit of a titchy mood because a little bit earlier, I exploded an iced coffee with my carbonator all over ceiling, floor, press, furniture or rugs. I haven't quite recuperated yet. Also, I opened another cheese, not one that I'm filming, just a different one, and it wasn't great. So I'm in a little bit of a bum mood, and if this does not turn out well, let's go. There's the dip where I tasted it, so we'll go the opposite direction, just to be contrary. That looks really good. I hope it tastes good. It's been rough here on here. Stay positive, Jennifer, stay positive. It's kind of soft. And look, you can squidge it. That is actually a squidgy cheese. It felt hard, but it's actually quite squidgy. Ooh, look at that. It bends really nice. Hallelujah. It's a saving grace.
Shazam!
I'm eating the rind right now. It tastes fine. I mean, it's a little bit harder, but it's not weird. Cutting off that end. Let's taste this now. You can see how it's like bendy and how it squidges. Squidge, 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 squidge. You have to say squidge whenever you do it. This, y'all, is my Sweet Rocklyn that I invented. And I am so proud of this cheese. It's a semi-soft, sweet, natural rind, short aging time cheese. Yes! Yum. After scrubbing my ceiling today, I really needed this. Let's do a melt test. Oh, it's already melting. Look at that. Buttery. Yeah, I think it's fair to say it's a good melter. Oh, look, we see how it pulls apart. It's getting all good stretchies. So yeah, this is a melter. Taste the toastedness.
Ow! That's hot.
So here's something I've been working on, getting PDFs of my recipes available that you can download, print it off, and have your own hard copy. Like here's the clabberculture recipe, saturated salt brine, whey, ricotta. I've streamlined these recipes. I don't want a ton of instructions on these recipes because you watch the videos, you understand the concept. These are just the notes that then you pull this out and you just like track yourself as you're making it. I don't want to clunky it up with lots of information that you don't need. I just come over here and here's my magnet strip. And I put the recipe, boom. I make my cheese, and then this goes back in the notebook. You can write adaptations if you want to do calculations first, or you can take the paper out and then write your actual notes on here. The Sweet Rocklyn is soon going to be a PDF that's available. As soon as I get the store up, you can have access to these recipes. Hopefully this will make making cheese easier, because watching videos is a booger of a pain to go back through and figure out what you need to know. It's so much easier if it's consolidated here. This has been months in the making. It looks super simple, but it's not super simple. I just took some cheese out to my son who is mowing. He wants more. He has a snack box out there at the mower. So I'm cutting him up some more cheese. And here, watch. This is my Sweet Rocklyn. What do you think? Good. Eating cheese and crackers, are you? What? Eating cheese and crackers, are they good?
Yeah.
Show me your snack box.
This is my unprotected feet. Make sure to wear shoes.
Yeah, wear shoes when you're mowing.
Yeah.
Here, you want some more? Say it again louder.
That's really good.
Okay, go mow. So here's the cheeses I just packaged up. This is my notebook that is covered with exploding coffee, just been drying out. But I wanted to show you, look how soft these are. You can kind of see that the pressure sucking on the bag has kind of melted the cheese into each other. These are like glinting, almost like pooling butter fat on them. There's little bits of rind I was just cutting off because I don't want to eat it. This cheese will go in the fridge for now, and these will be labeled and put into the cheese fridge or wherever. And yeah, yum, yum.